across Texas. The issue is...
I'm Rudy Koski in Austin.
I'm Stephen Dial in Dallas.
I'm Greg Krugen in Houston, and this is Texas, the issue is.
The banning of cell phones in Texas schools, that's the issue for our discussion. Now, several school districts in Texas have enacted or they're considering some type of student cell phone ban. There's been some pushback on that, which included a student protest walkout earlier this year in Houston. In support of the idea, State Representative Troxclair recently published an op-ed piece and indicated it's a topic for state lawmakers to consider when they return to Austin in January. I spoke to Troxclair about this idea and what she thinks lawmakers can actually offer local school boards.
Well, we all know that cell phones have turned our brain into mush. It reminded me of, this is your brain on drugs, the ad campaign that we all recognize from back in the day. And yet, so we've found ourselves in a situation where we have given children with developing brains an endless internet portal where they are exposed to inappropriate material, videos, and then we've let them run free with it during school time. I put out a rallying call for us to unite and to support each other in getting cell phones out of reach of students while they're in class time. You can do that through yonder pouches or through something as simple as hanging a shoe rack over a door that students can slip their phones in during class.
What role do you think the state should have in helping school districts do this, or is there a role for the state?
I want to make sure that the state is doing what we can to incentivize all districts to adopt this kind of policy, whether that is passing some kind of statewide bill, but allowing them to put in place the right enforcement or the right mechanism for which to do it, and maybe even adding some extra funding for school districts who do decide to adopt it. But basically, we cannot wait any longer to give our kids the freedom to learn and to get them away from these addictive devices that are truly destroying their brains and exacerbating our mental health crisis.
Kids have laptops. Their laptops are connected to the web. They're connected to their emails. So how do we justify that? You keep your laptop, but you got to get rid of your cell phone, or is this apples and oranges?
Oh, there's a big difference between your laptop and your cell phone. And I think anybody watching that knows the difference between constantly having the notification dings and the Facebook likes and the dopamine hits. That doesn't really happen when you're on your computer. And of course, most of the laptops that are school issued have are geo-fenced so that they only have access to appropriate educational information.
If the state gets involved, do you want to see this type of rule for charter schools and also private schools?
I think you'll be surprised that most private schools and even charter schools already have very strict enforcement of phone-free classrooms. So they're really kind of ahead of the curve on this. It's the public schools that we haven't quite gotten there yet. In Richardson ISD, for example, 100% of teachers said that their pilot program that banned phones in classrooms increased educational and instructional time. So I'm just going to continue to use the bully pulpit between now and the start of legislative session to encourage these districts to adopt their individual policies. And if there is a role for the state come January to help incentivize and support them, I'll be ready and willing to do that.
Well, my word for that is hang up. Stephen, what's your word for what you just heard?
My word is unlikely.
Greg, dial one in.
All right, my word is bullseye.
Well, the call now is to discuss with this hot button issue from Representative Troxclair, and the Texas Trio will do just that after this break. The Texas Trio is back to talk about student cell phone bans in local state schools. State Representative Troxclair, in a recent op-ed, framed this idea as a mental health issue. Stephen, that certainly moves this discussion away from the single issue of school discipline, right?
It does, and the representative has a point as far as, yes, our phones are glued to our hands, and at an adolescent age, it's not that healthy to constantly be looking at social media. I get all of that, but the pushback from some parents will be primarily security concerns, right? Where we have a gun on campus once a month in some districts, or God forbid a mass shooting or a shooting incident. Parents are going to want to have their children contact them because they are concerned that the school districts do not contact them quick enough. And if this becomes something statewide, I think something like she mentioned, maybe a cubby or hanging them all at the door, maybe a compromise, but I just don't see, I see a lot of pushback from parents on this.
Yeah, that's strong. I'm going to use that pushback again because I mentioned it earlier. There's been pushback to the ban. A group of students with Houston ISD earlier this year staging a walkout, but that didn't stop other school boards in the Houston metro area to move forward with this idea. Greg, there are some legitimate concerns. Stephen brought them up, from needing contact if a school shooter incident happens, and even the argument that some kids actually use their phones during the class day to do schoolwork, right?
Rudy, against the backdrop of sound and fury decade after decade regarding academic attainment and the lack of it, this really should be an absolute no-brainer, because access to cell phones in the classroom demonstrably retards learning and makes the job of frontline educators substantially more difficult. That's not a theory, that's reality backed by data showing higher test scores when produced when cell phone access is prohibited in the instructional setting. So if the overall goal is more bang for our educational buck, the capacity to Snapchat in class is a losing formula today, tomorrow, and every day in the foreseeable future. Now, that said, we shouldn't shackle teachers with the added burden of playing cell phone police. Their job, in my opinion, is hard enough.
Right, and here in Central Texas, Killeen ISD is one of the latest to do this ban. This fall, they will make middle and high school students keep their cell phones in a school-issue pouch, the pouch that we've been talking about. But they'll also have phone use zones. Those will be available. Lake Travis and Eanes ISD, they have policies, or considering one, that focus only on pre-K through 8th grade kids. Now, it's worth noting the governor and other Republican leaders have spoke out against patchwork-style local ordinances, from driving with a cell phone to mask mandates, right? But they've also complained about one-size-fits-all laws. Stephen, is this a hidden hornet's nest for lawmakers?
Right. I think it could be something that maybe parents who may be of the liberal persuasion and conservative persuasion may actually meet in the middle on, and kind of be united in being against this. Not saying every parent is against this, but every school district is different. I think there will be major concessions if this gets down the line in the legislature and is actually heavily considered. I think something like, okay, let's just do elementary school first, or doing a statewide no cell phones in any age range. I just don't see that crossing the finish line, but I could be wrong.
I can see lawmakers maybe helping local boards with some grant money to help pay for this. But Greg, I'm wondering if this issue could also be a hang-up, and there's my word, in the coming debate over school vouchers, school choice.
Rudy, unless there's some kind of pro cell phone in the classroom caucus that's flying under the radar, I don't see it. Look, I don't want to be the enemy of fun here, but this is just a no-brainer. You know, when you're talking about TikToking or learning algebra, I'm going to fall on the side of the math. End of discussion.
Well, Stephen, I still think that this could be a problem, something that could come up in the school choice debate, maybe a pothole, or maybe it could be used as a compromise trade-off. How about that?
I mean, anything school related is going to be a hotbed in 2025. And let me say, I don't disagree with Greg. There shouldn't be Snapchat and TikTok in classrooms. I just don't think teachers are going to have the opportunity to be checking cell phones. It's going to create more of a distraction when a kid brings a cell phone versus the problem that teachers already face.
All right, guys, we'll end it with that. To see this episode, go to our YouTube channels.
And keep the conversation going by interacting with us on social media.
And we will be back next week with another hot political topic. In the meantime, don't forget to let us know what you think the issue is.